This video is sponsored by Atlas VPN. Have you ever been excited to watch your favorite anime on Netflix, only to find out it's not available in your country or you're out traveling the world? Luckily, Atlas VPN can fix that for you. But what is Atlas VPN? Atlas VPN was developed in 2019 by top cybersecurity experts and IT engineers to ensure that everyone may access the internet safely, with more than 6 million people that use this VPN every day. They also have the best VPN offer right now. With a 30-day money-back guarantee, you can get the most economical internet protection for just $1.83 per month, with another 3 more months for free. You can take advantage of this offer by clicking the link in the description. They can also block viruses and advertisements. This is more than just a VPN. It also alerts you when someone is attempting to steal your data and prevents all harmful links, advertisements, and trackers. While shopping online, Atlas VPN lets you save so much money. You can get the greatest prices when you purchase online for things like plane tickets, hotels, and internet subscriptions like Netflix, Spotify, and other stuff. With Atlas VPN, there's no limit on how many devices you can connect. With a single subscription, all of your devices are secured safely. By the way, the discount code is only available for a limited time, so I suggest using it now. Link is in the description. About a year ago, I could barely draw anything decent, but after only a year of consistent practice, I managed to improve a lot. I've been drawing for 4 years now, and for 3 years I had no clue what I was doing. So in this video, I'm going to share some of the key concepts that I wish I've learned earlier when I was teaching myself how to draw. Now, I'm no professional, but most of these came from actual pros and illustrators that I've watched across the internet. So first lesson is, if you're bad at drawing, don't be. This sounds kinda dumb, but hear me out. We all want to improve at drawing as soon as possible, but the big question is, how? Well, there's 3 things that you need to keep in mind to actually improve your art: consistency, smart practice, and lots of reference. Let's start with consistency. Consistency is very simple. You just have to draw 30 minutes or an hour every day for 3 months, and if you do it perfectly, it's going to be part of your everyday life. You won't have any problem with motivation since it's already programmed to your mind that you have to do this every day no matter what. And I'm not talking about detailed illustrations every day. It's mostly casual sketches, nothing fancy. During those sessions, you're also going to study and not just draw randomly. Art can be really broad and complicated, but if you want to get good at everything, studying fundamentals is the best way to start. Fundamentals will really help you in the long term. Trust me. There are tons of videos out there that fleshes out fundamentals. It's going to be really boring, but once you learn it, you can practically draw with your mind. During these studies, Pinterest is going to be your best friend, because this is where you can get literally every reference you need. So basically, to get good at art, you would need consistent routine where you study fundamentals and copy stuff. And that's basically it, if I had to summarize. But if it's that simple, why isn't everyone good already? That's because there's so much information online and there are infinite ways to improve. So teaching yourself can be a challenge. And also, most people give up on the first week. This is where you separate yourself from the rest. It's also important to learn primarily from actual professionals. So here are some channels that would help you get started. These are some pretty solid teachers that really helped me get fairly decent. They teach some really helpful stuff that will greatly shape your art. But don't get caught up in thinking that you're being productive just because you watch an art video, because 99% of the time, you have to do all the work. It's like riding a bike. Studying is helpful and all, but you will only learn it if you actually ride the bike. When I started drawing, I really struggled with motivation, because I would just watch all the art guides, but wouldn't even draw once. But one day, I just decided to stop being bad at drawing, and actually focus on improving. And what I did was challenge myself to study and practice consistently for 90 days. I immediately got started because I know if I don't start at that very moment, I might as well quit, because if I couldn't get myself to do it in one day, then how could I expect myself to do it in 90 days straight? I didn't have anything back then. All I had was a pen, paper, and my phone, where I look at references. Again, references are important. I just draw day after day while applying all the things I learned from YouTube. And then after a month, it happened. I still suck at drawing. This is where most people give up. But for me, I thought I was doing it for a month, so why not do it for another month? And then another month. Until a year later, that 90 days is still going. Since drawing every day became a habit, in that year alone, I really improved a lot compared to the previous years that I started. And all I did was copy references and stayed consistent. But even with all those practice, I still barely scratched the surface of art. There are tons of things that I need to learn, so I'm willing to go for 100 years since 90 days isn't going to cut it. And I think that's what you should expect in art. There's no finish line. there's only the endless pursuit of improvement. At least for me. Okay, what do you think is the most important attribute to have as an artist? Is it talent? Creativity? If you said dedication, then you're halfway there. While raw talent and creativity plays a huge role in producing masterpieces, your art career is going to be short-lived if you lack the dedication to constantly improve and learn, which leads us to the next lesson. Talent is not necessary to be a good artist. Most of the time, people think that talent always does the work, but that's not always the case. Always know that you don't need to be gifted or highly creative to be good at drawing. If you think you're bad at drawing, acknowledge the fact and move on to be better. There's no point in thinking that you're not good enough. Do some studies, find out all the things on how to improve, work smart, and always learn from professionals. I actually started drawing not because I was naturally talented, but simply because I enjoyed it. The pleasure from drawing was enough to captivate me, leading me to dedicate a significant amount of time to learning and practicing art. Let's take a look at some of the greats, like Isaac Newton, Leonardo da Vinci, and Albert Einstein. I realized that their greatness wasn't solely attributed to their talent, but rather to their unwavering obsession with pursuing activities that they were passionate about. Yes, they were smart and talented and privileged and all that stuff, but the point is, I do believe that their greatness stemmed from their determination to focus on the things that they love. It was their unwavering dedication, fueled by passion, that made them transcend their limitations and make historical contributions to their respective field. Also, a mindset you should avoid is making up excuses and comparing yourself to others. Oh, that guy is naturally talented, and I could never draw like that. If you keep making excuses like that, you don't really want it. So, how do I know this? Because I also made excuses like this, until I realized that I won't go anywhere if I carry this thought all the time. You just have to want it more than anyone else, and that's how you excel at something. And there's actually nothing to worry about if you always think positively. Keep in mind, the one that's steering the wheel is you, and you can only decide for yourself if you want to be better or not. Next lesson is fundamentals over style. This is probably my biggest mistake of all time. That's why I always mention this in my videos. Fundamentals is everything. You can't spell art without fundamentals. Well, you can, but anyway. One of the things that I learned in art was the significance of starting with the basics. I realized that in order to truly learn and become skilled in art, it is essential to focus on the fundamentals. The fundamentals are like the building blocks of art. They help us understand and simplify complexities of the world around us. They include things like space, shapes, and lighting, which are important for creating art that looks realistic and makes sense. Space is about how things look far away or close up in a picture. Understanding this helps us make our art look three-dimensional and interesting. Shapes are the basic forms we use to draw things. They help us show what objects and characters look like. We can also use this to simplify the reference that we see, and once you purposely think of shapes around you, you would realize that everything can be constructed just by using shapes. By paying attention to these fundamentals and practicing them, I found that they gave me a strong foundation to improve my art skills. They also helped me understand other artists and notice how they make their own art. Remembering the fundamentals while drawing is an important part of being creative. They give us guidelines to follow and adapt as we create our artwork. By focusing on the basics, we can continue to grow and explore our artistic abilities. When it comes to art, there are three outlooks that you should always remember: patience, discipline, and consistency. These qualities are incredibly important for your artistic journey. You see, art is simple and easy, but you have to do it every day, and that's the hard part about it. You need to solve one problem at a time. You can't know it all overnight. Well, you can, but you would need years to practice the skills until it's burned into your mind. First, let's talk about patience. Creating art takes time, and you need to be patient with yourself in the process. You won't become a master overnight, but that's okay. Skills, techniques, and your creative vision develop gradually with practice and experience. So, be patient and embrace the learning curve. Remember, progress comes with time and dedication. Next up is discipline. It's not enough to rely solely on inspiration or wait for the perfect moment to draw. You need to be disciplined and commit to regular practice. Set aside dedicated time for your art, even when you're not feeling motivated. Having discipline means developing a strong work ethic and creating consistent creative routine. It's about showing up and putting in the effort, even when it's tough. And let's not forget about consistency. Consistency is closely tied to discipline. It means showing up and engaging in your creative work regularly, no matter what. By practicing consistently, you'll develop your skills and deepen your understanding of your chosen path, and build creative momentum. It's through consistent effort that you'll overcome obstacles and break through creative blocks. So, stay committed and make art a regular part of your life. Art is not about instant mastery, it's a journey of gradual progress and continuous learning. Take it one step at a time, focusing and solving specific challenges along the way. Each problem you solve and every practice session you complete contributes to your growth as an artist. It may take years of practice to truly feel confident, but that's all part of the process. Lastly, when in doubt, just draw what you see. This is the key to drawing. This is the very essence that I've missed my entire life. It's so simple yet very effective. This changed my way of drawing so much that the second I decided to draw what I see made me realize that everything I needed has always been there if I just actually looked. Now, of course, it also takes time to train your eyes and learn the theory, so don't worry if you don't get it, you're gonna realize this sooner or later. Drawing from imagination alone is literally impossible. That's why you have to observe first. Everything that everyone draws came from somewhere, and that is real life. Drawing from observation is the best way to learn. Can't draw hands? Just look at your hands. Everything that you can never think of can either be found on the internet or outside your doorstep. I think drawing is just a series of copying and collecting data. The more you draw and copy stuff, the more you can store a collection of images that you can visualize and draw easily later on. Everything that I've been drawing here are taken from a reference, and I've been using this technique to teach myself everything about art for the past year. But of course, it's not just about copying. You also have to think. This is where fundamentals comes in. Drawing from observation helps you develop skills like attention to detail, hand-eye coordination, and depicting realistic subjects. It teaches you about light, shadows, textures, and spatial relationships by closely observing the world. After collecting enough data, you can now test your memory by drawing from imagination. This also allows for creativity, personal expression, and exploring new ideas. It lets you communicate concepts and stories and emotions that don't exist in reality. Both observational drawing and drawing from imagination enhance your artistic abilities. Observational drawing builds technical skills, while drawing from imagination lets you bring your unique perspective to life. Copying and collecting data are part of learning. Studying existing art and objects helps you understand techniques, styles, and subjects. This knowledge becomes a resource for creating original artwork. Balance between observation and imagination is key. Both have value, and combining them makes for a well-rounded artistic practice. As you draw and gather experience, your ability to visualize and create from your imagination will grow. And that's it. Hopefully this helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!